Hello.
Hi, white space people.
We're together in the same room. Welcome to my hotel bed.
We wanted to be real fancy for you guys.
Yes, we are in Dallas.
We are.
We're actually at the Big Boo Live extravaganza.
Yes, which we've talked about their podcast a couple of times on here that we really enjoy.
And we got to see Beth Moore last night.
We did.
If you don't know who that is,
so good.
She's a Christian speaker, book writer. So funny.
From our childhood that we grew up. That's what everybody in church did.
I got to hug her. And I told her that I'm from Arkansas and I went to school in Arkadelphia. And she instantly said Washita. So those of y'all from Washita know that she knew.
There you go.
I'm not from Henderson. So,
and also, fun fact, it's the first time Mandy and I have ever seen each other in real life.
First time we've ever met in person. It's just surprising to us because we were like, we're incredibly close. That's so weird.
Yeah, we've been friends for years.
Yeah.
Years.
We still like each other too.
We do.
Everything's good. We're sharing a room. Everything's fine.
Everybody's good.
We've also had a bit of a hiatus from the show.
We did. We took 2 weeks off.
2 weeks off. Wasn't planned.
No. Life kind of happened.
We had some things happen. So we missed a few weeks. We apologize. Yes. If you cared.
Or noticed.
We missed recording though.
We did.
But the unfortunate thing for those of you who prefer shorter episodes is that's not today.
No.
We're not even sure. By the end of this could be 2 episodes. We'll see.
Depends on how much we chat.
But a lot's happened. So when we last left you, I was going to New Orleans.
Yes.
And I went.
Yes. And she has not told me anything about this trip.
Nothing.
So
nothing.
Listen, we're all hearing it for the first time together.
And I'm glad we're finally talking about it because I have a lot of videos and pictures I want to show back up, but I'm like, gotta save it for the show. So I'm going to start at the beginning.
Okay.
So my best friend Megan surprised me. Hey, we're going to go to New Orleans. We're going to see Taylor. We're taking her daughter, who is 10, who also just really took Becca down in fantasy football, but we'll talk about that later.
It was not pretty.
And then we were going to take our other best friend's daughter, who's also 10. So, they've never seen it. I was super pumped to see it through their eyes.
Yeah.
It was everything I could imagine and more. The whole drive from Arkansas to New Orleans, I was teaching them the chants.
As you do.
I had to go ahead and give permission that, yes, there's occasional times you're going to have to cuss. It's fine. Okay. They were still real nervous. And I have some really cute videos when they were about to do some of the chants. They were like, should we? I'm like, you have to. That's what's about to happen.
Yeah.
So we got to New Orleans, and let me just tell you, so we went to night 3. Night 2, Sabrina Carpenter popped up out of the stage. I mean,
you just barely missed it.
That was tough. But the crazy thing is we were pulling into New Orleans, and we saw 3 black SUVs, and it was coming off of the exit ramp from the airport. Mm-hmm. And I was like looking at my watch, and I'm like, well, it's like mid-show, so I guess it's not related, whatever. And so where my friend's condo is literally like right next to the Superdome where the concert was happening. So we're still behind these 3 SUVs. They're still going to the Superdome. And I'm like,
who are we following?
What is that? I'm sorry, folks. We were in traffic with Sabrina. So we were with her. So we pull up because I'm like, Megan, you got to pull up next to this is somebody at this point. I need to know, like, is Travis making, like, what's happening? We pull up. I look over. Sabrina Carpenter. It's blacked out, but I can totally tell. That hair is very recognizable.
Yes.
So I didn't get to see her perform, but I got to see her in traffic. So,
oh my goodness,
basically the same. So we get to the condo, and the concert's still going. So we go up to.
Could you hear it from the condo?
We could hear certain things. Not like you couldn't hear Taylor, but you could hear like the roar.
Yeah.
But we went up to their rooftop to like watch everyone leave, and it was hilarious because it was just like when it finally let out, it was just like herds of sequins just walking by. People still singing. I mean, just people looked happy as could be.
Which it really looked like New Orleans showed out, like the whole city.
Well, it's kind of one of those cities that's over the top anyway.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, they for sure did. I mean, decor everywhere. Taylor themed stuff. Every store had like come inside for all too well steak, all kinds of stuff. But I told Megan because, I know a little bit too much about these concerts. I said, okay, what hotel could they be staying at in New Orleans? So I'm like, okay, it's going to have to be, top of the line. We're not talking the Motel 6 kind of thing. So she's like, okay, it's probably one of these 3 or 4 places. Well, I was sitting on TikTok, and of course, some of you are stalkers, but it did help in this situation that I said, well, look, here's a video of her leaving the hotel in her entourage going to the show. So she looks at it and she goes, oh, that's the Ruby Slipper, which is a breakfast place. She goes, that's it next door. I'm sorry, right there? The white building I'm looking at? Yeah. So the other side of that is the Ritz-Carlton. I can say that now because clearly they're not there anymore. I said, I'm sorry, we're talking next door. Okay. And I said, well, here's what I'm going to tell you. We're watching the live stream. And so I'm like, karma's happening on the live stream. I said, as soon as this song ends, that motorcade's going to be coming back. So we're like, oh. So we were like, should we wake the girls up? It's like 11. And I'm like, no, we'll just let them sleep. So we got to see the motorcade come in to the hotel. Fun. It was so fun, just all the sirens. And of course, in New Orleans, like we kept hearing sirens, but it wasn't. Still. Yeah, it was really cool. So that was the night before.
Yeah.
So then the day of, we went out to brunch. We were preparing our outfits. We all had multiple options to choose from.
You need to.
I surprised the girls and got this huge pack of friendship bracelets off Etsy.
So fun.
And the 13 tattoos. Got all that for us. We didn't tell them we had it. And they were like, oh, because we went to brunch, people were changing bracelets. And they were like, oh, we don't have any. We're like, oh, and some people gave them some. Yeah. We're like, don't worry about it. So we get back, we give them the stuff. They were like over the moon. And so they said, Miss Mandy, we need to practice the chants. Gotcha. So
I'm glad they were on it. Like they
were like, we need the full experience.
Yes.
And so I said, guys, here's the thing. Gracie Abrams is opening. And of course they were real sad it wasn't Sabrina Carpenter because they're 10. Whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, but we can't be late. Because I can't, if y'all are going to be late, I won't be walking with you.
Right.
So the last time we were on here, we were debating what I was going to wear.
Yes.
And I think when we were on here, we had gone lover.
We went lover with reputation we were going to pin that idea.
We ended up with debutation. Yeah. So I ended up with some black sequin shorts, which left some permanent scars on my leg. A black onesie, which we'll get to the story on that. Not onesie. There's a real word for that.
Bodysuit.
There
we go.
Not a onesie. I didn't go in my pajamas. And I found on Amazon some black sequin boots. So that's where the debut came in.
There you go.
They were stellar. They were actually pretty comfortable, but I'll be honest, after 5 hours at that point, I was real tired. Again, the sequin shorts looked fantastic, but it was painful. Because dancing, rubbing, a lot of things happening.
But you have to go and play the part.
But I will say full outfit. So my bodysuit, almost said onesie again, shorts and boots, $60, whole outfit.
Listen, that's a good deal.
Amazon for the win. I would say we would link it in the show notes, but y'all know we don't do that. We're not
that savvy.
But I felt good about my outfit. I felt
like
I looked pretty good in it.
I liked it.
I only got one picture. I'm still a little disappointed about that, and I'm on a side angle. Thing. Anyway,
but that one picture was really good.
Yeah, well, it was pretty good. Yeah. It was super cool in New Orleans. They did the friendship bracelet on the side of the building.
I loved seeing that.
Oh, it's so cool. Now I wish everyone had done it because Indianapolis just did it.
But here's the thing, like once you buy it and you use it that one time, what are you going to use it for again? So it needs to be a Taylor thing that she buys, and then that's part of her like.
What do you think it was made of?
It looked like it was some kind of a blow up something.
See, that's what I thought, but it wasn't.
What was it?
I don't know. I didn't touch it.
Oh.
But I can tell you it wasn't blow up because it didn't move. It was solid.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know what it's made of. I just was curious.
I saw a picture and it looked like a whole bunch of just flat cloth laying there. So whatever it is, it's cloth wrapped around it. That's why I thought it was blow up.
Now I'm even more perplexed because then I was going to say styrofoam, but that would still, because it was rainy and windy. So it would have been
flapping.
I don't know. And also, guys, I've got a thing going on. So I apologize. It's going to bother you the whole show. Okay, so we got to the show.
Yes.
So we had obstructed view seats.
Okay.
And when my friend Megan said, these are the seats I found, I don't know what she paid. I don't want to know.
It's none of my business.
It's her deal. She's like, but is it really going to be worth it? And I was like, listen, I've heard a lot of people say that obstructed view, you still see the whole thing. I was like, there's only really 2 sets that you want to see the direct front of the stage.
Yeah.
And it's like folklore and evermore. And the girls were not super excited about that part anyway.
Okay.
And I said, there's screens everywhere. You're not going to miss anything.
Yeah.
Do it. Okay. They were fantastic. So if you're like looking at the stage, we were to the left. We were on the side with like Amos, the guitar guy.
Yes.
And Melanie, the backup singer.
Oh.
Yeah. And they performed to you. So it was fantastic. And like when Taylor does Anti-Hero, everyone's favorite song, she came over to our section and then she was like looking, I'm pretty sure she saw me.
I think she probably did. She was like, haven't you been here before?
I've seen you at a couple places, right? All over the country. So we got there in time, definitely for Gracie. It was, so the seats were fantastic. Gracie Abrams. Now y'all know, I was beyond excited to get to see her. It was everything I could have dreamed of and more.
I'm so glad she was the opener when you went.
Finally.
Yes.
No offense to any of the ones I've seen, but
they're
finally.
all good, but.
Okay, so this is what I was just telling Becca this morning. She's never going to be Taylor. Okay, she's not going to be this like performer. I don't know what she's going to be, but her vocals are just unreal in person.
Which is not common with artists.
Right. Usually they're not great in person.
Right. Because that you can dub their voice and you can add so many extra things. So for her to be really good live, I think will take her pretty far.
Yeah. I mean, and her songwriting. Yeah. She was so fantastic and so still like blown away.
Yeah.
Like and it wasn't fake. You know how you can tell.
Right. You can tell when they're genuine.
She's like totally legit that she's like, I cannot believe I'm here right now.
Yeah.
Excuse the cough. Told you it was going to happen. So she was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
And then the clock came up and it was time. So I prepared the girls. Listen, I tell them, I said, okay, the clock's going to come up. These are the songs that are going to play right before she comes out. They're going to play Muna, and then it's going to be that weird song, and then it's going to be the applause. Okay. Lady Gaga. So I've got them prepped. They hear applause. They're like, it's happening. It's happening. So pops up out of the stage like she always does.
Yeah.
I mean, the place like erupts. Like my ears hurt. It was still as breathtaking as the first two times I saw it.
Yeah.
It was amazing. So the show went on as normal. This was my first time to see the new like lineup. Didn't really faze me really that it was different. The girls participated in the chants, and I gotta say, doing the 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch was so fun with them because they were so pumped to say a cuss word, but also, you know, it's my favorite chant.
I love it.
People were trading bracelets all around. I had to explain to them. So this one person comes up to them as we were walking in the stadium and was like, oh, hey, let's exchange bracelets. And they were like, oh, like, don't take our bracelets. I was like, no, this is what happens. Yeah. And so I was like, here, let me show you. And I like switched. They're like, oh, so then they were let loose. Cute. They were everywhere. So we get through. They were pretty bored in folklore and evermore.
Yeah.
Again, I gotta say that we could have skipped a lot of that. But we had a lot of people in front of us that had the yellow balloon or the balloons, and they lit them up.
Oh, fun!
So that was new for me because that hadn't happened in any of my shows. And then it was time for TTPD. When I knew it was coming, I just couldn't breathe. I just couldn't. I was so ready. I was just like, it was like a fever dream. And
I can't even imagine hearing some of that stuff live. Like watching it on grainy footage or on the Eras Tour thing. Like it's so good, but I just can't even fathom the next level that it is live.
You know, I had thought for a while that the choreography during But Daddy, I Love Him, I wasn't sure how I felt about it.
Yeah.
Specifically the one part towards the end where they do the, you know, I can't dance, but when they do the like this thing, and you can't see my legs, or if you're not watching, you don't know that I'm clapping to my sides. I always thought on the live stream it was weird, but I gotta tell you, I was doing it right with them. Like, I mean, I was clapping.
Gotta join.
She did the Archer and during high school, and it actually was like pointed right at us because of the angle. Right. Now the stage broke, so we did not get to see her levitate. That's right. Which the girls didn't even know was supposed to happen. But I was like, wait a minute, what's happening?
Right. So the little motor
part. She didn't do that. So that was weird.
Yeah. It seems like she recovered really well. Like to still reenact like
as always.
her movements.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. She literally there was at one point I was like, I can't remember if that thing comes out here or not because like we're just rolling. Like nothing phases her. It's crazy.
No.
So that was that. Then we got to Midnights. I have to admit, and I don't know if it's because of where we were sitting, because we got that obstructed thing that she does, waving to the side people.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed Anti-Hero this time. Like I was like,
we love to hear that.
This is a bop today. So I'm not saying I'm there yet, but I'm close.
Okay. We'll take it.
It was
Baby
great.
Steps.
Karma was just amazing. Now, it was an indoor, so I was assuming no fireworks. I was incorrect. We had fireworks. Now, not the big, like, usual fireworks, but we still had them.
Had some.
I was like,
which makes sense, because at football games, they still do some of that.
That's true. But there was a tinge of sadness because, I mean, most likely, for all intents and purposes, this should be the last time I see the Eras Tour. I mean, I'm not closing any doors, but I'm just saying this probably is it. And there was a tinge. Okay, famous people that we saw.
Yes.
We saw Andrea Scott, as always.
Yes.
I did not see Tree this time.
Okay, but did you see her at the other two or just the first one?
Other two, I saw her.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I talked to her at the first one. I didn't talk to her at the second one. And then I didn't see her at all in New Orleans. In fact, I didn't see any pictures of her being there.
I was going to say, I don't remember seeing any TikToks with her.
In fact, I don't think I've seen any of her. I hope everything's okay, because I don't think she was in Indianapolis either. We'll probably need to check in.
We'll call her.
Yeah. We saw Chris Olsen.
Okay. He's been to a lot of her shows.
Yes. Y'all want to judge me. This dude's everywhere. We saw Nicole Kidman. She is taller than you think. Like, I thought she was tall. She's taller than I thought.
I don't think I realized she was at the show you were at.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't watch The Office. Never have. Probably never will. But the main female character,
Angela.
Yes, she was there.
Okay.
A lot of people freaking out. I didn't know who she was. So that happened. I'm trying to think. I feel like we had one more person. Oh, Shabuzi. Shabuzi was there. Not gonna lie to you guys, I thought it was DeAndre Hopkins.
They do have similar hairstyles.
It was not. It was Shabuzi. One of the children had to tell me that was Shabuzi. I didn't feel 200 years old. Multiple times on this trip, they reminded me I was 41, so that didn't help.
That was nice.
But I think that was it. As far as, am I missing anybody that I told you was there?
I don't think so, because there wasn't like a huge list. A
Yeah,
lot of them had gone to night 1 and 2.
Yeah, and being a Sunday night, it was kind of a weird thing.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had won.
That's right.
And so, wait, no. Did they win? Yes,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
They won that day.
They haven't lost. Hello.
But they had
won.
played that day, yes.
They won. And so we got Carmen's got on the Chiefs. So I was very happy that at my last show I still got that too, if it's my last. And so that was it. And so then we walked with the other 70,000 people back to the condo. As we were walking, the motorcade passed us, so the girls got to like see that. And let me just tell you, so 70,000 people, we had to walk, I guess maybe 5 blocks.
Okay.
Which on a normal day, we could make it about a 15-minute walk.
Right.
Or even a little less if we hadn't had the girls with us. This time it took a whole lot longer. And let me tell you, I looked online. I'm not stalking via jets or anything. But by the time I got back to the condo, changed clothes, washed my face, and we went up to the deck just to like hang out.
Right.
Her flight had already landed in Kansas City.
Listen,
our girl was ready.
She's ready to go
to get home. And I was a little jealous because I knew I was about to have to drive 14 hours. We got to take a pause. Okay, so that was New Orleans. It was. Oh, I'm sorry. That was not the biggest part of the New Orleans show. I can't believe you let me forget this.
Which part?
The surprise songs.
Oh,
it's because Becca doesn't like the surprise songs.
It is. It's not.
All right. So I don't remember. Oh, wow. I don't even remember what she played on the guitar.
Holy, because yours was on the piano.
So I blacked out pretty much because what happened was she sat down at the piano and she started playing.
should have looked this up.
Yeah, I'm really blanking. I'm going to stop this. Part of New Orleans was the surprise songs.
Yes.
So she started on the guitar with Afterglow, which I actually really like that song. A lot of people don't, but then it turned into Dress. And Dress is controversial. Okay. We're not going to get into why. We don't do that here. But it's controversial, but it's still like a pretty iconic song.
Yes.
Even if it is because of the controversy.
It's good.
Please hold. Okay. So the other epic part of New Orleans was the surprise songs. Becca's favorite part of the Eras tour.
Always.
So she started with Afterglow on the guitar. Great song. Then she went to Dress, which there was an audible gasp in the crowd because that song is iconic. A lot of controversy. Not going there. But it was like the air sucked out of the room.
Which, by the way, it's fascinating how fast the audience picks up what song is being played within like the first 2 notes.
Well, I'll be honest. So then we switched to the piano. She started the first few words of the first song she did on the piano. I didn't know what it was. And I know everything. But yeah, it is, especially because it's not like the production you're used to on the albums. Yes. I think because I have seen so many live versions of Dress because of all those videos that are out there from the Rep tour, I knew instantly. And apparently the other 69.999 people knew it too. It was iconic. So that was super fun, whatever. Then she goes to the piano and she sits down and she starts, like I said, she starts playing the first part of it. I'm like, I don't know what this is. And I was worried it was going to be something I didn't like. So I was like, but it was How You Get the Girl, which is not really in my top, I don't know, maybe even like 25 songs. It's just not a song I particularly really like. So I was kind of in my gut like, oh, okay, well, we'll see what she mashes it up with. She played one note and I knew instantly because y'all know if you watch this show and if you know me in real life that of every song ever written by any artist in all of time, the song Clean is my most favorite song by like leaps and bounds. But Daddy, I Love Him. I love that song.
Yeah.
It still pales in comparison. She played the first note on the piano and I was like,
I was so excited when you texted
me.
my
head just kind of, what's happening? And then because she didn't launch straight into the words, she played a couple of notes. And I was like, no, there's no way. She hits that third note and I was like, this is happening. And then she starts in 10, she says 10 months. And I was like, I'm done. It's really happening. And she starts playing Clean. And I'm telling you, I blacked out. It was a complete out of body experience.
I love it.
I felt like she and I were the only two people in the entire arena or stadium, whatever we were in. I mean, it was completely mind blowing. And, she intertwines them. Typically, it's almost like every other line or a couple of lines with the first song.
Yes.
So I was already having this moment where I'm like, oh, please don't do that. Like, please don't, let's not go back. Well, she didn't.
Okay.
So it was like clean, just clean. So I'm like, oh my God, I can't breathe. And so she does like the whole first verse and the first chorus. And I'm like, oh, she's not intertwining them. This is for me. Like, and I didn't tweet her because I see a lot of people that tweet that are like, hey, Taylor, I'm coming to this show. Play this. I'm sure she really cares.
Right. She's listening.
Not happening. So I was like, okay, this is really happening. This is happening. So I'm like trying to take it all in. I'm also going through like in my real life, like a lot of things are happening in my real life at this moment. And so like hearing this song, my real life situations are happening. And I'm like, this is just, I am without words. And so then she kind of starts intermixing How You Get the Girl in. And I'll be honest, even to this moment, I'm not entirely sure. I don't really know. Again, it's like always, I don't really know why she mixes what she mixes.
Yeah.
Like Afterglow and Dress, I kind of got.
Yeah.
And I think now I can kind of see maybe why she did it because she did change some of the words to Clean. And I've seen everybody's hoopla online about this, that it was about the election.
I don't think so.
Because she changed it to My Love, My Body, My Choice. I didn't take it that way. And maybe she meant it that way, but How You Get the Girl and that didn't go together.
Right.
To me, How You Get the Girl and changing it to those was again about Travis. Like she's clean. And yes, she changed it to say that she doesn't miss him, or she said sometimes I still miss him. Yep, she doesn't miss Joe. Calm down.
Right.
Like, sorry, y'all are so weird. The
Listen,
parasocialness is so much. This girl could not be more in love. Like, even I'm not worried anymore. So
which is saying a lot.
It's a lot. So she played clean, and like, so it's funny because my best friend Megan was there. She is not a Swiftie, or she was not a Swiftie. She is now. So we have the two girls in between us. She's on the end. Well, right when it starts, like, Megan wouldn't just know it's clean.
Right.
But I guess based on my reaction, she like knew something was up. And so then she starts the chorus the first time. So Megan realizes it's clean. And she looks at me. She goes, "Oh my God, it's your song." And I was like, "It's my song.
This is for me."
And so mid-show, I whip up my phone. I'm texting Becca. I'm like, "She's doing clean. I think I just wrote the word clean."
Listen, and I was in bed. I started squealing and got so excited. Doug is like, "What is happening right now?" And I was like, "It's clean. It's clean."
Y'all, it was
so fun.
I mean, it was a divine appointment is what I can tell you. Especially because the next week was about to be the craziest week of my life. And so, yeah, so she sang clean.
I love it.
So that was New Orleans. It was epic. It was so worth it. It was such a whirlwind trip. We were there like 24 hours in a very hectic time in life. But I mean, y'all, I really got some epic. So like Minneapolis, I got the Dear John experience.
Yes.
Obviously 1989 in LA, and I got New Year's Day, which is my song with my husband. And then I got clean. Like, I feel like I may be one of Taylor's favorite people.
Obviously.
Pretty sure. Just not sure why I didn't get the ride home on the plane, so I didn't have to ride. But
next up, VIP suite. So
it's happening for sure. If I go to Canada, which I'm not ruling out. So
it's all a possibility.
So that was New Orleans. It was epic. That's kind of what's been going on with Taylor too. Was she was finishing up the U.S. leg. She finished up in Indianapolis.
So now
it's weird. Like we are like
almost done.
We got 2 cities and we're donezo. Like it's weird. She has been at the Chiefs games.
Yes.
I would assume she'll be there again Sunday when they play the Broncos because it's an Arrowhead and she's on a break until the next week.
Right.
And then we're done.
I'm so anxious to know what done looks like.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Like, are we not going to see her for 6 years?
Oh,
I don't think so.
That was uncalled for and hurtful.
I'm just saying.
That was mean.
Because like you've just given literally everything you've got for the past like 2 years almost.
I know.
So we understand she deserves a break, but we also understand that Taylor doesn't take breaks in a normal sense. So I'm going to be curious to know what done actually looks like for her.
Well, I mean, I think we know we're going to get 2 more re-records. Well, I'll be honest. We only know we're getting 1.
Do we though?
Here we go again. I mean, we've heard mention of the Rep TV.
Right,
so I think we're going to get that. I still am of the camp. I don't know that we're getting debut, which is a weird.
But we are in the camp that we do believe there's a documentary coming out. And if you saw any TikToks or videos from the last few Eras tours, it's been very obvious that there is a film crew following her and Travis when he's coming.
Because he did make it to Indianapolis. We did get one more time having Trav there.
Yes.
I think she knew he was coming, but I don't think her mom knew.
No,
and it was the
sweetest.
Yeah, I loved it.
I love it.
But it was a little awkward. I told Becca seeing her next to him, dancing, singing during parts of So High School was a little bit weird. But
that'd just be weird in general.
It's okay. It's
Maybe
fine.
if you just think of it as a song and not as a song about
just
him.
like anyway. We got to see Trav there, which was so. Their love just makes me so happy.
Yes.
And yeah, that was his last time to see it too, and that's what he said on New Heights. He wanted to see it one more time before it all closes up.
Which makes sense.
So I was so glad that he came. But while we don't know what's next, we do know the Grammys are coming.
We do.
And the nominations came out today. So we're
recording this on Friday.
Yes, and I even know it's Friday.
So you guys will hear it on Tuesday. But we want to talk about it since it just came out. We knew Taylor would get nominations.
Yeah.
When TTPD first came out, our knee-jerk reaction was, this is not a Grammy album. We have stood corrected on that, and we have even corrected ourselves because your girl came out with 6 nominations.
Yeah. So we've learned a lot about how this all works. So I guess like you
Submit.
I was like, what is the word? Nominate, present, Golly. Okay. So yeah, you submit yourself. She submitted herself for 12 things.
Yeah.
She got nominated for 6, but it's the ones she got left out of are not really based on her.
They're like engineering, editing, that kind of thing.
I would say the most shocking thing we've seen so far is that Jack Antonoff did not get nominated for Producer of the Year, which he's won 3 years in a row. Something is amiss with that.
That one's an odd one.
I can't.
Does he have to submit himself for that?
Well, yeah, but he did.
Oh, okay. I was going to say maybe his team.
I don't know. We may have to look into that. But she got nominated for Best Pop Duo
with Gracie.
Yeah. What else did we get? I can't see.
Best Pop Vocal Album for TTPD, Song of the Year for Fortnite, Record of the Year for Fortnite, Album of the Year for TTPD, and Best Music Video for Fortnite.
So,
which not surprises. We expected her to be nominated.
We do not think that she's going to sweep these categories by any means.
No.
I do believe she will win Album of the Year.
Okay. I was wondering which one we think she'll take.
I do believe she's going to win that. And I believe she's going to win Pop Vocal Album of the Year.
Okay. Those would probably be the two I
think those are the only two.
Here's the thing. We had even said it in previous episodes, there's been a lot of music that has come out. So I don't think if she doesn't win these, it's a slight to her.
No.
I think that she's up against some really good artists that have had some really big years.
There is another artist that got nominated for something.
There is.
What is it? Tell the audience.
Listen, Dan and Shay got nominated for a Grammy for Best Country Duo Group Performance. And I'm so excited for them.
Listen, if they don't win,
I'm going to be upset.
We're probably going to need to, we'll have to have thoughts and prayers for Becca for sure. Who are they against?
I don't even know.
Oh, well.
I don't care
Great content we're providing. There is someone who did not get nominated, but he did not submit himself. One man named Zach Bryan. Now, guys, I don't know. Listen, you probably don't follow pop culture the way we do.
An obsessive amount. It's rough.
I'm sorry, I just got not the most shocking text message in my life because I've had a few of those in the past week, but one that is so startling I can't even function right now. Okay. What are we talking about? Zach Bryan. Okay, so you may not follow this. If you don't know who Zach Bryan is, he's a singer. But he doesn't want to be called a country singer.
Well,
did you see this?
You mentioned it, but I didn't actually see it.
He wants to be considered whatever you consider Bruce Springsteen to be. He thinks he's the Bruce. I saw an interview with him literally sitting there with Bruce Springsteen, telling Bruce Springsteen he wants to be the boss of today.
Can you imagine the audacity to be
listen,
I'm going to be you? And Bruce Springsteen probably sitting there being like, I didn't know your name until you just walked in.
Bruce Springsteen is sitting there thinking, listen, I'm in my 70s and I still have better hair than you. Right. That's what he's thinking. I'm going to tell you right now. But if you're not familiar.
Zach Bryan's newish to the whole music world. It's not like he's been around for 15 years.
And it's not like a cult. I mean, like literally people call Bruce Springsteen the boss. They don't just say like
Zach's had some hits, but you're not headlining.
You're just Zach Bryan.
Massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has been headlining a few other things recently.
His name has been brought up a few times.
So we have had many a question and ask about Barstool and how we feel about Barstool. We are going to do a deep dive.
We are.
It's confirmed.
We have to at this point.
So Brianna
Saglia
something or another goes by Chicken Fry, which I don't know why. That'll be part of the deep dive. Anyway, she's been with Zach Bryan for a year now and very in love on social media, as we would have thought.
Real fast.
Apparently we were not right. Well, apparently I don't think she knew she was wrong. So turns out Zach's pretty much scum, apparently.
Yes.
If you're not familiar, they have recently broken up. Apparently she did not know they broke up either.
Well, I think she knew they had broken up. She was not made aware that this was going to be public knowledge that they had broken up. So he decided to just post it on his Instagram. Which
like you would, right? So y'all, anyway, so
Dave Portnoy, such a high school thing to do. Like, I need to be the one that says we broke up, so you think like I broke up with her.
Yeah. But listen,
don't you cross Dave.
Don't you mess with Dave Portnoy. I freaking love this dude. People. I knew who he was. Right. I kind of liked him because he's very defensive of Taylor, but now I am like a Dave Portnoy stan. Yes. fully committed. Josh Richards is the other person on the BFFs podcast with Brianna and Dave. I vaguely knew who he was. I didn't really know how he became famous. I love him now too.
Yeah.
But they did a diss track called Smallest Man.
It was funny.
Y'all, if you haven't heard it, it keeps going up and down because there's a whole thing with Warner Music Group. But Dave will find a way.
Right. It's on TikTok.
It's on Spotify too. Yeah. They still haven't taken it off there. Y'all, it is so funny. But also the tea is spilled everywhere. So all the rumors about Zach are true. That he's scum. He's got STDs. He got too drunk to perform with Noah Khan. He's a cheater. He's a liar. All these things. So listen, if you're still listening to Zach Bryan, you need to get right with the Lord. Like, you got to stop. He does not need our support. He is not a good person.
Well,
and now somehow I had a lot of things on my bingo card for 2024.
Listen, we were off.
None of those have happened.
We were off.
Everything that has become on my bingo card, I would have never imagined.
Right.
Me being a fan of Brianna.
Who saw that coming? Listen,
I'm a stan now. I'm with her. I will fight for her now.
Okay.
You're not? You're still out?
No, I think here's the thing. I'm much less critical of her now because I didn't, and I think this goes with anybody. I didn't know what was going on behind the scenes. So what we're seeing, it leads us to make our narrative. I still think that she's probably very immature and has a lot of growing up to. She's in her 20s.
Yeah.
We all did.
Well, I'm interested to see what she does with this now.
Yes.
Like,
so they released the diss track, and then last night, so Thursday night, the BFFs do a podcast release where they have basically just sat down and let her talk about her breakup. And so there's a lot of allegations that come out of that. She's stating, that he was emotionally abusive to her, that he really just ruined every good thing that happened in her life by making it about him, being upset with her. But the biggest thing is that came out that he tried to supposedly give her $12 million so that she would sign an NDA, and she turned down $12 million so that she was not controlled by that, I think is what she saw. Whereas I saw it as $12 million to not have to talk about Zach Bryan. Where do I sign?
If it's available for all listeners, I'm in.
Right.
I think part of it too, is you do work for Dave Portnoy, who has a lot of money and is very much Team Bree, and he's going to make sure you're very well taken care of. So I think that's part of it. I think part of it probably is she does want her own dignity. I just saw when we started this that his two other exes, his ex-wife and ex-girlfriend, did sign the NDAs, but the most recent ex-girlfriend that allegedly he cheated on with Bree is now posting cryptic things on TikTok. So I wonder if Dave's hey, I got you back.
Right. What lawyers do we need?
So I can't wait to see how it plays out. I do feel bad for Brianna.
Yes.
Anytime you go through, and then public scrutiny.
Yeah. Now he has said he's going to stop touring, but supposedly that's because he has been accepted into a master's program in Paris.
I didn't even know that. For what?
I didn't say what his master's is going to be in. Just
I didn't even know he had a college degree.
Listen, me either. We're all shocked. Who knows if this is true? He has also released new music. Today, he released a song called The High Road. Apparently not about the relationship. It's about his mother that passed away. But still, listen, he's trying to switch that PR to his side and the sad my mom died story. I don't know how long ago his mom died. Could have been a little while. But listen.
People die a lot. That's all I know. That's all I can tell you, people. It's all I'm going to say, but people die all the time.
They do. So, but it's just interesting. This is for sure not going to die down.
No.
Because here's the thing. Now that Bree has told her story, I think that she really does want to move on. But I think from what we're learning about Zach's personality, he's not going to let this die.
Well, Zach's going to get drunk. Okay. Apparently what we learned
is... We're probably going to see some tweets come out this weekend.
Also, I'm just going to go ahead and say, for those of you who are not Swifties, this is what happens, okay?
Listen, don't come for Taylor Swift or the Kansas City Chiefs. It doesn't end
well for you. This is what we call karma, okay? I'm warning you.
Don't say it.
You've been warned, okay?
That's right.
But there is some Kansas City Chiefs news.
There is.
There's actually a lot of news that's happened since the last time we recorded.
Merciful mercy.
First of all, we have a whole new player.
A good one.
Somebody that scored 2 touchdowns. We got for pennies, which... I don't know what's happening in Nashville, but it's apparently not football. DeAndre Hopkins is now Kansas City Chief.
And I mean, he is enjoying himself.
Welcome to the show, D-Hop, because we're enjoying you, sir.
Yes.
You and your 2 touchdowns this past Sunday. Thank you.
Right. We appreciate those.
Appreciate your service. Please stay healthy.
But all the coaches have said, like, DeAndre came in and he and Patrick have just clicked and meshed, and it is very evident, which is wild to me when you think about, I mean, this guy was just playing for one style of a football coach, and now within the same week you switch and you've got to learn new plays, a new system. You're in an all new locker room and you're just out there balling out.
You know, everybody says, oh, what's the debate between the GOAT? Is it Tom Brady? Is it Patrick Mahomes? First of all, I don't think you can really have that argument until Patrick retires because we don't know the totality of his career.
Yeah.
But also I want to say that, like, I can go ahead and call it because here's why. I've got reasons.
Of course.
This is why space.
That's right.
So my why is they even said the other day that, like, DeAndre made this incredible catch right by the end zone that, like, no one should have caught. Well, it turns out that wasn't even the right route. And if you realize
we're learning that most of these aren't.
And then that's the thing. This is the thing. Travis never runs the right. Apparently, this guy's never on the right section.
I bet you Kareem Hunt's probably the only one, and that's because he's right there.
And all he does is run straight up the middle. But everybody else, they're all over the place. But you know who gets the ball there? Patrick Mahomes. I think that's vastly different than what Tom Brady did, because Julian Edelman and Ron Gronkowski and even Denny Amendola back in the day, they all had they ran the routes, right?
Yeah.
Patrick's just out there improvising. Now, Patrick gave us a heart attack on Sunday.
He did. Whoo, Lord.
I still think I have a bit of a palpitation. And he also must have the weakest ankles on earth.
But the strongest will to get back into a game.
Just right back out there. But he went down, and I was like, oh, no. But I did have this moment, and my friend Megan texted me. She said, but I mean, Carson Wentz is the backup, which is not a bad call.
I thought the exact same thing.
Is there
backup's a little bit stronger?
Is there a better backup quarterback in the NFL right now?
No.
I don't think so either. She asked me that via text, and I was like,
no.
I can't think of one.
Because a lot of the backups are playing right now, so they're not considered
exactly.
backups.
And then so they're like the fourth string guy. No, he's not any better.
He is your best one.
So I was like, okay, well, it's not the worst thing. It's close, but not there.
Yeah.
We went into overtime with the Bucks, and I will say, I didn't know. I thought this was a trap game.
Yeah.
Because I was like, the Bucks were without Mike Evans. Chris Godwin, his leg went in a lot of different directions. It's not supposed to go there.
No.
So I was like, Baker has nobody to throw to. Well, and Baker took so many shots. Like, this dude was getting annihilated.
I mean, he was taking shots, but it was such a good game to watch.
It was good. And I again, not on the bingo card. Am I a Baker Mayfield fan?
Listen.
I didn't know.
I kept thinking that whole game because it was so good. And the Bucks are such a good team this year that I was like, if this is the first game we lose this season, I'm glad it's to them.
Yeah.
But when they did that coin toss at overtime, listen, Baker's got PTSD.
Listen, they go to the coin toss for overtime, and it's hilarious.
Baker gets to call it.
Yeah, he calls wrong. And so, of course, Patrick, before it's even done being called, Patrick's like, receiving, we're receiving. And Baker just throws his head back like, oh, shit.
Because game over.
Yeah.
Game over. He's getting a touchdown.
It was game over.
And
I've seen the hoopla. Like, it looked like one of Wanye Morris. It looked like he was offsides or jumped back too soon. I think you're right. I think that was a missed call. Would they still have scored? Yes, people. What are you, stupid? It was still going to happen.
But the refs are missing a lot of calls this year. Not on just Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're across the board.
Yeah. So,
which, do we know, if this is a sidebar thing,
okay.
You know how, like, players get fined for doing the wrong thing in games? Like, they might not get called for it during the game, but afterwards, like, your shirt was untucked or your socks didn't go where they're supposed to. Like, little things.
Yeah, right.
Do refs get fined or have any...
No repercussions.
For any, like, missed call, especially blatant. There's been some blatant face masks and things that they are not called.
I don't, unless I'm sadly mistaken, I don't believe so. I think the only time I've ever seen refs get in trouble is when they've been caught, like, purposely throwing something. Okay. Like throwing a game.
If any of you guys work for the NFL Referee Association, if that's an actual thing, I don't know who they actually work for. Could you give us a call?
Yeah.
We have some questions.
Hit the DMs.
That's right.
It's, listen, we didn't watch last night's game. We were busy, but the Bengals Ravens
apparently was a heck of a game.
Which should have been.
Yeah.
And there was one of the most blatant face masks I've ever seen in my life when the Bengals were going for a 2-point conversion to win the game. I mean, it couldn't have been more obvious, and it cost them the whole game. And man, can you imagine waking up today with that?
No. Nope.
Yowza. I'm just glad they weren't playing the Chiefs because we would never hear the end of it. But that's what I'm wondering now. Can we hear that this is happening now for the Ravens too? Or are we just only the Chiefs?
Okay. It's not going to be noticed. So, but the Chiefs are still undefeated.
8-0.
We're still going strong.
Got the Broncos Sunday.
Broncos. So we shall see how this goes.
It's at Arrowhead. This also feels like a trap game.
Listen, I'm learning we can't count these. Like, this should be a game where we're like, for sure the Chiefs are going to win. But I'm learning we can't count anything out this year because some teams are winning that on games that we're like, how'd you pull that out? So, but the Chiefs, we're still doing good. We're still the Chiefs.
Yeah.
The Saints.
Still the Saints. But I tell you what is not still a Saint is Dennis Allen.
That is correct. He has been let go, relieved of his duties, which again, we set a hot seat. We knew this was probably coming. I'm a little shocked we're seeing some of these happen we're not far enough into the season where I would expect we start making drastic calls.
I guess, honestly, I kind of think the opposite. I'm thinking if I'm the Saints, we're at what? Is this week 9 we're going into?
I believe so.
We suck is what I'm thinking.
It's not looking great.
I'm kind of thinking like, what does it really matter?
Yeah. Because they just lost to the Panthers.
Real bad to the Panthers, who are real bad.
Yeah.
I think there's some massive dissension in the locker room. Did you know Dennis Allen has been fired twice?
I saw this.
Both times Derek Carr was his quarterback. I'm not saying there's...
Don't you know he's never going to go on a team that Derek Carr's there?
Well, as you shouldn't. But anyway.
That should have been a red flag.
But I think he was part of who fought to get him to New Orleans. So,
which is interesting.
Bad on you, my guy.
Not a great look.
I think the Saints have decided to burn it all down because they traded away Marshawn Lattimore.
Yes.
I thought at the end they were going to give up Chase Young. They ended up keeping him. I think Cam Jordan is ready to kill Derek Carr. So he may need some extra protection. I just think they should probably call it a day.
Yeah. Let's try again next year.
Yeah. And let's get a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Our boy Spencer Rattler, I was really hopeful for him, but
I hoped he would show up, but he has not.
But I don't know.
Derek Carr's back. He's not injured anymore, but
he might as well not be. But the thing is with Spencer, it's kind of like Sam Darnold. Can we really judge Spencer right now, or do we need to wait to see him play for another team?
True.
So we'll see. He's been fired. Also, there's some other people who've lost their jobs.
The Raiders are on a firing spree.
Yeah, like if you worked there a week ago, you probably don't now.
They have fired their offensive coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
They have fired their O-line coach. And they fired their quarterback coach. So clearly they think that the problem is on the offense side.
Which, I mean, okay, so it depends on how you look at football. The saying is defense wins championships.
Right.
You've got Max Crosby. I mean, one of the best of the game.
Who's our quarterback for the Raiders?
Well, see, that's the problem here is it Gardner Minshew? I think it has to be now because Aiden O'Connell broke his thumb.
Yes.
So I guess it's Gardner Minshew. Now, who is his backup?
I don't even know.
I don't know either. I can tell you I had Gardner Minshew on my bench and I cut him because what are we doing? That's
a team I did not see. I didn't think they would be going to like the Super Bowl, but I didn't see them struggling this much.
No. I'm going to go ahead and make a prediction. Max Crosby is going to demand a trade.
Okay.
I honestly thought he was going to do it before the deadline.
I mean, we're seeing where he's unhappy, but then we're seeing where he wants to stay here forever.
He wants to be on the Lions. I'm telling you right now.
Listen.
That's what I think. And
which
can
is
you blame him?
Weird because last year they rallied around their new coach, their interim coach. They wanted him hired. They had a pretty, decent end of the year. They struggled a lot, but so I thought they'd come out guns blazing this year, but
now have you seen the connection between Shador and the Raiders? So apparently every time the Raiders lose, Shador tweets or posts like, what does it say? Like,
God is good.
God is good, or thank God.
Thank God. Yeah.
So I think our boy's trying to get to Vegas.
Which, now makes sense because Tom Brady is part owner of the Raiders.
All up in the Colorado butter.
Is all up. He has done personal one-on-ones with Shador. So potentially there is something there. And is it Mark Davis that owns the Raiders, the majority? He has said, we really want Tom's input as we're looking for future quarterbacks and kind of growing that. So it does make you wonder, are the Raiders going to try and get Shador? I don't even know what pick they have or how fast we think Shador is going to go, what teams potentially, but The draft this year is going to be
It's
interesting.
going to be real interesting. But sad times for the Raiders fans. Also sad times for the Cowboys fans.
Listen, if you're a Cowboys fans, our condolences.
Thoughts and prayers.
It's not a good year for you guys.
But do any of you know what's going on with Ezekiel Elliott? If you do, could you hit us in the DMs? Because I thought his dad was offering $10,000 for you to prove that he wasn't washed up. Well, should I sign up? Because I think I can prove it.
Right. So he didn't play this past week.
Mm-hmm.
So probably 2 games ago from what has now happened when this releases. But he did not even travel with the team because the coach said, you're not going to play. And apparently it's because he is not showing up to meetings. The meetings that he does show up to, he's coming in late for. How are we paying these guys the money that we're paying? And it's not like a required, surely they're fined for this, right?
I don't know. I don't understand because he was like all about it. He was so pumped to go back to Dallas. I'm home.
And if Dak is your best friend, why are you leaving your best friend out there to struggle by himself? Wouldn't you be trying to I'm not leaving Mandy on the field to look like a fool. I'm at least going to come out there and try and help her sister.
Though I am a little concerned you just compared me to Dak Prescott. True.
Listen, I just compared us to being an NFL team, and that's never going to happen.
That's a stretch in itself. But, well, I tell you who's not on the field, though, is Dak. Dak, he's on the IR now, but I saw yesterday.
It looks like he's out
for the season. Hamstring, something or other. Lots of things going wrong.
Right.
But do we think it's really that serious? Or are we thinking he's
here's what I think. I think he has probably tweaked his hamstring. And I do think that it would require him to be out for a little while. But I think maybe the doctors are like, hey, if we go have this surgery, it's going to for sure fix this problem, but you're out the rest of the season. And I think Dak was like, I will take door number 2.
Well, that sounds like an option to me.
I would like to get out of this year.
I don't want to be blamed. So let's go.
Which is crazy because Dak seems when he's talking in the media and even posting on his own socials, he seems to be in a really happy place this year.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine what it's like when you're so happy at home and with your personal life and everything going on. And then you come out and play. And we got, the clip that has made the rounds around social media where he looks over at Trey Lance.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, we effing suck. And you're like, my guy knows.
Yeah.
But it's true. But I don't think they can figure out why they suck. And that's probably
it doesn't make sense. I mean, honestly, yes, they've had some injuries, but I'm so tired of hearing about injuries because the 49ers have had them. We've had them. It's part of the game. It is a real big part of the game this season. But Micah Parsons is supposed to be back this week. We'll see if they go with Cooper Rush or Trey Lance.
Yes.
I'm betting we end up with a combo. I'm betting one of them gets hurt because they're not used to getting hit.
Cooper, but I think Trey's coming in pretty fast.
Be interesting to see what he does because, he got drafted by the 49ers and they didn't develop him at all. They just got rid of him.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The problem remains what it always is in Dallas. 2 words for you. Jerry Jones. Just saying. We're here in Dallas right now if he wants to meet. We can talk.
We can have a conversation.
We can help.
Well, and I think one of the things also is, and I can't remember where I heard this, but somebody was saying they had worked for the Jones family before and they were like, here's the thing. If you tell Jerry, we can get you a Super Bowl win, but you're not going to make all this extra money and all of this extra PR on the side because you're going to be working and focusing on your team. They said every time Jerry Jones is going to turn that down. And it does make sense with the choices that he makes. And they were even saying the past month probably is things like they do facility tours where the practice facility is, where people can pay $40 and go tour. Well, sometimes you're touring while they're lifting weights and they're working out. So it's like animals at a zoo and people are banging on the windows. That's their job. Can you imagine sitting at your work desk and you're trying to work and people are just coming by and talking about you and staring at you
or and from then home also, too, so that would be even more weird. But
But they were saying sometimes when they're practicing on the field, when Jerry wants to come visit, he'll just land his helicopter
middle of the field.
And they got to get off, practice is over. So to me, that tells you, we got an ownership issue because you've got the talent. Your coaches are good.
Mike McCarthy was successful in Green Bay.
But you're not successful when Jerry Jones is telling you how to do your job.
Which is why all you people that think Bill Belichick's going to coach the Cowboys next year are delusional.
Ain't happening.
Never in a million years.
Nope.
I don't know. It's time to call it a day.
Yeah.
The only thing that can happen for the Cowboys fans is that the Lord chooses not to tarry on with Jerry, and I'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
We were talking about backup quarterbacks in good situations, and I will say this is probably the only other team. The Colts are now starting Joe Flacco because
over Anthony Richardson.
Benched Anthony Richardson, but they're not saying he's benched.
They're just saying that Joe Flacco is probably going to be the quarterback.
Now, I would say Carson Wentz, Joe Flacco, you're in pretty good shape. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Anthony Richardson, you are, as long as he stays healthy, you will not touch the field again, sir.
Not this year.
No.
Not this year. I think definitely a learning year for him.
Yeah.
And the situation is he tapped out at like 3rd and 4 or 3rd and goal.
Yeah.
You can't tap out. And then his reason was, I was exhausted. Sir, your defense is exhausted because you hadn't been out on that field. Your offense is exhausted because they're having to cover you all this time. So to tap out, and then we got to know. So that, to me, that's a leadership issue. The rest of your guys can now no longer trust you, and they're not tapping out. They don't get to go take breaks.
Speaking of tapping out, did you see DJ Moore that got traded from the Panthers to the Bears? I want to say it was like a 3rd and something situation. He ran his route to the sideline. Caleb went the other way. He just walked off the field mid-play.
Listen, that sounds like something I would do because I'm not an athlete and I was tired.
Well, he said, I tweaked something, so I just kept going.
No,
he just dropped to the ground. Take some notes from Ole Miss. That's what you do. You just fall.
Then you're not faking an injury. That's a real one.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll see.
Listen, I think if this year has taught us anything, it's taught us 2 things. Number one, these players need to maybe follow the Tom Brady diet because an exercise routine.
Go vegan or go home.
But also number 2, that these teams and their lawyers need to make sure that the contracts are very detailed in what we are requiring these players. So you got to show up to meetings. You can't just tap out of games. Yeah. Like if you still are on contract, you can't sit out training camps, things like that.
Yeah.
Like we got to.
Yeah. Let's see who else we got. The Packers.
Green Bay Packers. So fun thing here, they're doing real well this year.
Yeah.
But as we know, the Jets let go of Saleh. I always say his name wrong. Saleh, I'm pretty sure. But he is really good friends with Matt LaFleur, who's the head coach of the Packers. The Packers have brought him on as a part-time consultant, basically, to analyze their offense because I guess he's more defensive-minded, which honestly, if I'm getting fired from a head coach job and I just need something for the rest of the season to kind of like cleanse my palate.
And I'm still getting paid.
And I'm still
both places now.
2 teams.
I'm in.
Listen, that's got to be
How do we get that job?
I don't know.
There's a lot of jobs that we have really proven our worth here, and
I know
nobody's called.
I think we've got to become a head coach and suck, which done.
That seems easy.
And then somebody just pick us up.
Well, that seems easy. I tell you what is not easy. I'm just pulling up my phone here so I can get my fantasy football app open.
It's been a dumpster. Surely for y'all, it's been a dumpster fire. You guys, a 10-year-old slaughtered me. Rightfully so.
So bad.
She deserved it.
So bad.
But man, that was rough.
I tell you though, your girl here is making a comeback. And I don't mean Becca. Okay?
No.
Just so you know.
I'm done. But listen, I have tapped out. We are tired.
I am playing my son this week. T's and P's to him because he's projected to get massacred.
Okay.
I have Lamar Jackson. He threw 4 touchdowns last night, 32.9 points. So that tells you already he's screwed. But I'm going to go ahead and click on our league right here. And I'm going to pull up our standings. What do we have here? All right. So
players while you're doing this.
Okay. So right here in second place.
Ugh.
Got a team called Rolling with My Homies. Guess who their general manager is? One Mandy Asbury. That's right. I'm at 7-2. I'm killing it. I'm on a streak of winning 5 weeks in a row.
Listen.
Okay. It's going to be 6 because I'm taking down my son. Let me find Becca. Hold on. It's going to take me a minute to scroll that far down.
Yeah. So, keep scrolling.
Okay.
Keep scrolling.
So at 3-6, on a losing streak of 3 weeks in a row.
It's not good.
We've got Becca bringing it in. Still no wins for her sister, though, yet this season.
That's true.
She is on a losing streak of 9 weeks in a row. We appreciate you listening, though, Laura. Blessings to your team. So it's pretty tight right now. My best friend Megan is in first place. She's 8-1. I'm 7-2. Next up, we've got kind of a tie, 3-way tie in third place at 6-3. One of them is the 10-year-old that beat you. And then it kind of goes real drastically downhill from there. I don't know, guys. We'll see. I'm not getting overconfident yet. I'm just saying. I'm pretty good. Oh, well, in good news, Becca has now finally decided to drop Rashee Rice.
Listen, while you were looking up your team, I realized I don't have a wide receiver that's available to play this week.
And we got nothing left. We got 16 teams. There ain't nobody.
One of them's on a bye. Two of them are out. And then I still had Rashee Rice.
She just couldn't.
Listen, it hurt my heart.
Well, it does sound like Pacheco is like out of a boot, already working out, running.
Listen, I'm still holding on to him.
They say he's going to be back this month.
I'm okay with that. But I just need him to make sure he's really okay. Don't come back and hurt yourself again.
Yeah, because if Kareem gets Hunt, now Carson hasn't fumbled in a few weeks, but still we
better knock on some wood.
Done.
Bless.
So that's fantasy football right now. I'm killing it. Becca's killing herself.
It's not great.
So that's the NFL.
But we do have some nice college football going on.
So some of us do. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So as we know, Alabama, my team, Missouri, my husband's team, and they did play each other a couple weeks ago, and it was not pretty if you were a Mizzou fan. 34-0.
Now, did y'all watch the game?
I did. My husband left the room.
Okay, so he did his part.
His part.
Didn't work.
His part. It was not,
Okay.
Listen, there was a lot more leadership on the Alabama side. I appreciated that.
Clearly, they're listening to the podcast. Yes. They heard my criticism.
Yeah, we still got a lot. Milroe's got a lot. We got to clean up. He's still not reading the whole field, and that's a little worrisome for how long he's been there. So that's not great. Let's see. Brady Cook did get injured, so that we got to give that to Mizzou. Not great. I think he injured his hand this time, which that's been an issue in the past. So I'm not sure why we're not being more protective or like a glove, something. I don't really know.
Okay.
And then Pine is his backup at Mizzou, and he came out and just kept throwing to the other team.
Reminds me of that press conference recently with Bo Nix when they asked him about the interception he threw in the end zone. They said, "Can you tell us what happened?" He said, "Yeah, I threw to the wrong team."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Check.
So I think the thing for Alabama is if they don't come out and have multiple massive plays with the other team having some really bad ones to get their energy up, then they're defeated the rest of the game. So they've got to come out and play really hard, and that's not sustainable.
Well, I got to say, though, in comparison, I actually compare that to what is happening, I feel like, with the Chiefs defense.
Yes.
Because as we were watching the game the other day, I texted and I said, I don't understand this. The Chiefs defense is really, really good. And Spags is the best defensive coach, I think, in the history of the NFL.
Yes.
Chris Jones, amazing. Like, we have a really good defense. But it takes a second. It's like a wind-up engine.
They got to warm. And sometimes it takes all the way to the fourth quarter.
And it really makes me nervous.
It does.
But it's kind of the same vibe. It's like they kind of have to get scored on a couple times and beat. And then they're like, oh.
Then they can play mad.
That's not how we need to do things.
No.
We need to come out cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. Alabama does play, I believe it's LSU this week at LSU, and it's a night game.
What are we thinking? I mean, I think I know what you're thinking, but
I'm always going to go for Alabama.
Now LSU's coming off. I can't even remember the last time they recorded.
Bye week.
They're coming off a bye week following the loss to Texas A&M at A&M.
Yes.
So again, we're going to come into a situation. We've talked a lot about coaching this season.
Yeah.
This is a week that a coach has really got to earn his money.
Yes.
Anytime coming off
really got to earn it this week.
Well, and Brian Kelly, because here's the thing, coming off a bye week is always tough because you kind of get lazy in it. But then also coming off a massive loss like that, that's where you earn your paycheck. So does Brian Kelly have it in him?
We'll see.
I don't think Brian Kelly's worth the money they pay him. Apparently, I'm really down on a lot of coaches right now.
Listen, we're not, because
I'm sorry, but
Florida just extended Billy Napier.
What are we doing?
We thought he was for sure done this season.
I don't understand how I don't have a job at this point coaching football.
Listen, maybe it's just because we haven't put our resume in there.
I might try.
We should with some clips from our podcast.
Yeah, all our great ideas. Unless they ask me about time zones or
they will hire us on the spot.
I'm going to go ahead and say, though, that I think this is going to be a signature win for Alabama.
Yes!
I do. I think, now listen, if there's ever a game they could lose,
it's this one.
Death Valley at night, LSU's a decent team.
Yes. And their fan base is strong.
So
That
I
makes a
could see
difference.
this, but this is what I'm going to tell you. This is what I think that's happening in Tuscaloosa this week.
Okay.
We got closed practices.
Yes.
I'm going to tell you, I think they've had Nick Saban in the building. He's still got an office there.
It's possible. He's still a consultant for
I
them.
think Nick has been in the locker room, and I think they're going to come out. They're going to look like a different team. They're going to have to win.
One thing I noticed at the Mizzou game is Coach DeBoer coached all the way to the end of the game. Even when they are up, Mizzou has no chance of pulling this out. He was coaching and yelling and right on them the whole time. And that makes a difference. That's what those guys are used to.
He saw the podcast.
He did.
He saw me judging him. I'm still judging you. I still don't think you're the right answer at Alabama. But I do think you're going to get this win this weekend. But here's what I'm going to tell you. If you don't.
Yeah. It's not going to look pretty.
It's not going to just be me calling for your job.
Mm-mm. And I don't know what kind of contract he signed. I'm sure it was a big one. And I'm sure it was for more than 1 year. But Alabama has the money to pay you out.
You're not going to last long. I'm telling you.
But yeah, we'll see.
I
want to talk about your Razorbacks?
I saw that in the notes there. So what happened was we played Ole Miss. We beat Tennessee, number 5 in the country. So we're riding pretty high. Then we played Ole Miss. It didn't go very well. Nope. I didn't get to see a lot of it, or actually any of it, but I can tell you that I was like checking the scores and my son kept telling me, Mommy, it's halftime. It's like 36 to -12 or something. I mean, it's bad. Our quarterback, Taylon Green, I think is a really good quarterback. He's playing hurt.
Yeah.
And he keeps coming back in the game because he's one of those kids that wants to compete.
But you're hurting your team more.
But you're also talking about a kid, and this goes back to what I have been saying about a lot of situations. You're talking about a kid that came from Boise State and was having killer numbers.
Yeah.
Now, he's still putting up those same numbers, but he's playing against SEC defenses. So he's throwing the ball that much, but the people catching it are not scoring.
Yeah.
So we lost and real bad. Real bad. But I'm going to tell you, Lane Kiffin needed that win.
He did.
Jackson Dart needed that game. I think Jackson had over 700 yards.
I think Jackson needed it more than anybody else.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know where we go from here. I heard rumors that we were going to go ahead and extend Sam Pittman. Again, nicest human on the planet.
Right. Let's retire maybe, sir.
Yeah, I don't think we're there. We've got NIL issues. We've got issues everywhere. I love Sam Pittman as a human.
Yeah.
I think Bobby is definitely, he's an offensive coordinator extraordinaire. I think Travis Williams, I love seeing him be successful. He needs weapons on defense, which we're having trouble getting and keeping in state. So I don't know. We'll see. We could still make a bowl game because, they got one for everything now. But that was a tough one. So we'll see. Okay. We do have some very sad news to report.
We do.
If you're not familiar with Kirk Herbstreit, he is on College Game Day.
Yep.
He has a dog.
Ben,
golden retriever, cutest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Greatest little thing to add to College Game Day.
He's been traveling around the country. He's been at all the games, and he's been battling cancer. And as of yesterday, right?
Yep. Yesterday.
Lost the battle. And we're really sad about it. I really did not need this to happen right now.
Listen, and Saturday they're going to do like a
I'm not ready. I can't
video to it, and we're all going to be.
I'll be flying. It's going to be good. I can't.
It's going to be great.
I grew up with a golden retriever. His name was Luke. He died a valiant death fighting a rattlesnake that was trying to get me when I was a little kid.
Okay.
It was a very traumatic story. I'm
sure.
sorry that I just shared that.
I
don't know why that just came out. But I think of Luke every time I see Ben, and now they're in the nether regions. The upper regions, not nether.
No.
Nope.
That's a different podcast, folks.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Where are we going now?
Let's go to some questions.
Questions from the audience. Thank God for saving me. All right. What's up? You read the first one.
Okay. So our first question is from April. And she said, what songs do you think Taylor should do as the last surprise songs on the very last night of the Eras Tour?
Well, I guess we're just going to continue on with the depressive streak
here. We really are. So I'll go with mine.
Okay.
And I think she should only do one.
Oh.
And it should be the full version. And it should be Long Live.
Okay. Will it be acoustic, or is she going to do like the whole production of it like she was doing?
No, it'll still be acoustic and on the piano. I need it to be a piano song, not a guitar song.
I gotta be honest, I got some tears behind my eyes right now about this. I've seen a lot of people say, oh, it's gonna be Closure. I don't think so, because first of all, it's not a popular song.
No.
Long Live is
She's going out with a bang.
So that's a great choice. I actually was thinking Long Live, but I was thinking it was going to be the full production.
I mean, I wouldn't be sad.
Here's the reason that I think that it's going to be the full band, because here's the thing. I think that the full band will stay with her ride or die forever.
Yes.
But some of these guys are getting closer to like,
where they're just going to move more towards studio
and
artists.
like be home.
Yes.
So you never know. You never know when she's going to tour again. So I don't know.
What song would you pick?
I actually had Long Live as well.
Look at us.
I've seen You're on Your Own, Kid. I could see that. I could see a lot of things.
Yeah.
I just can't get my head around it. And I can't even imagine her getting her head around it.
Yeah,
or has she known from the very beginning, this is how I'm going to end it?
I mean, it's Taylor.
I figure things like, it could be the prophecy.
Oh.
Could be manuscript.
Either one would be fantastic as well.
I don't know. It's going to be epic. Will you watch the last show, the whole thing be a live stream?
Yes.
Same.
Yes, I will be watching that one.
Here's something I think is going to happen, because they keep mentioning it. I think Taylor Nation is going to live stream the last show.
I would appreciate that.
They have mentioned the live streams a lot more lately, and she has mentioned it in posts.
From stage, too.
And she's put it in her like goodbye post to this.
Yes.
I think that they will live stream like a real production of the live, which thank you, because if you could save me some money, that'd be great. I don't need to be in Canada, but I may be there. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Okay, so next one from Charlotte. What is your favorite storyline from your very favorite TV show of all time?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been, 2 weeks since we've made these notes?
I think so.
Okay. I'm pretty sure I had an answer when I'm going to check my notes while Becca gives you
I got you.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to go, obviously, I feel like I've got favorite TV show. Got to go Grey's Anatomy.
Shocker.
Yes. But I had two storylines that I've really enjoyed. I don't like that at the end of every season, we have like some big character gets killed off. That I struggle with that. But I do like when they had like half the cast that died on the helicopter crash, that then the surviving members win the lawsuit, and then they use that money for negligence to rename the hospital, and they get to do all these things. I think that was a huge arc for them. That's given us some really good storylines. I also really, for a smaller storyline, I like that April and Jackson, that relationship's been up and down and messy and stuff. I do like that they have finally made them really great co-parents. Neither one of them are like full-time on the show anymore, but when they do come on, I like that they have that, and that Jackson has kind of taken over the foundation a little bit more. I think that's better for his character. So those are the storylines that I really enjoy. But if Shonda Rhimes could please stop doing these very traumatic killings of some of the big stars, that'd be great. I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. We have obviously given a lot of examples of great episode ideas for Shonda. I don't know. Maybe I've missed the message in the DMs. I'll go back and double check.
I haven't seen any, but you really give some good ones.
I mean,
listen, I'm more Hallmark. I need it straight and happy ending, but you have some really good ones that have layers to it. So
I had a couple of thoughts on this. Okay, the very first idea I had when I first read the question was, do you remember the episode of Saved by the Bell when Zach and Kelly broke up?
Yes.
Okay, that was on my list.
Oh, that was traumatic.
I know, but it was such a pivotal moment in our youth.
It really, that and Say No to Caffeine Pills.
Oh, yes. Or also,
that stuck with me more than Dare.
We just had the anniversary of that.
We sure did.
I saw that on social media.
We sure did.
Also, did you watch One Tree Hill?
I did.
Okay. When Brooke, did you watch like all the way to the end?
Yes.
Okay, so when Brooke finds out that she's finally pregnant.
Yes.
That was a big one for me. And then my third one that I had was West Wing, which is my favorite show of all time. There was an episode called Two Cathedrals. And basically, the president is Martin Sheen, if you don't know the show. President Bartlett, if you will. Okay. His longtime secretary, Mrs. Landingham, was killed by a drunk driver.
Oh.
But in the same time, his team was about to announce his diagnosis with MS. And so he goes to this cathedral, and you start seeing all these flashbacks, and it's like all these different kind of like storylines of his life that kind of never added up. Suddenly all adds up. He had an abusive father. He never could find his voice. Like all these things came together. It's just really great.
Okay.
So
Those are good ones.
Yeah.
I like that. All right. Next question is from Dion. And Dion asked, would you draft Shador Sanders, Travis Hunter, or another college football player with the number one draft pick?
So I remember this question, and I'm going to go ahead and call you out for this for the person that submitted this. Your name is not Dion, but I think that you are a fan, but you also misspell it. But the fact that you asked about Shador and Travis, I looked at your social media. Your name's not Dion, sir.
What if it's like
His name is Mike?
Oh,
Mike. Like, we're not even close.
What if it's Mike Dion and he goes by Dion?
No, it sounds like
I don't feel like we could tell him what his name is.
Well, his name is Mike. I'm telling you.
Mike, can you DM us again?
Listen, I looked at Dion, whoever you are.
I need to know.
I got confused too because you skipped a question. But okay.
We got time constraints.
Okay. We do. Okay. Oh, we do. Okay. So would you draft Shador, Travis, or another college football player with the number one draft pick in the spring? First of all, we don't know who's going to have the last pick because there's some really bad teams this year, or the first pick.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's probably going to be the Panthers.
Okay, but it's
or the
you
Saints.
Picking.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
It's
so
picking.
It's me. It's my team.
Yeah.
I'm going Travis Hunter.
100. Yes.
Now, how are you going to use him?
Listen. Well, first off, I'm going to make a bad choice and I'm going Jalen Milroe.
And this, my friends, is why her team is on a losing streak for fantasy football.
But then I'm also going to own a second team, and it's going to get a draft pick as well, the second draft pick, and I'm taking Travis. I think I'm going to use him on defense, though.
Same. I don't think he's built like a wide receiver in the NFL.
No. And
he doesn't look it.
Your defense can use him a lot more because he's going to get some interceptions.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I think and I like his confidence. I also think that I can't deal with Shador's attitude.
Well, and I don't think Shador is good without Travis. I think he is
that's spicy.
Maybe baseline to any other quarterback that's in the draft.
Oh.
If he doesn't have Travis,
so many things, so much hotness just came out right
there. Listen, you put him on the Raiders, you can give him the best wide receiver. If it's not Travis, who can literally catch anything, Travis is his Travis Kelce, who can just get open.
Yeah, I see that.
And if he doesn't have that, I don't think he can play.
Yeah. I'm just going Travis Hunter because, I think he's a freak athlete. Yeah. And I think you could use him a million ways. I think even on defense, you could use him in multiple positions.
Yes.
And I think these kind of guys that are like intangible like that, like all day, every day. Because you're going to have your team get hurt.
Right.
And you're going to need them to pop in wherever you can put them.
Yep.
And I think he's a great pick for that.
Yeah. I don't think any NFL team is going to pick him up and be like, yeah, you can play both sides. It's just not going to happen.
I don't see that either.
Not with as much money as they're going to be paying you.
Well, and not as hurt as all these people get.
No.
Lord.
Yeah. So, all right.
Are we ready for some Y Factor?
Let's do some Y Factor.
I do have my notes on that. Go ahead with what you are not liking.
Well, I am not liking, and I think I've talked about this for like NFL players, their game day fits have been horrendous this year. Very few have done well. Elko with Texas A&M and DeBoer with Alabama. What are we doing with the oversized like sweatshirts and long sleeve t-shirts that you look ridiculous? First off, you're sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
Second off, it just does nothing for how it lays on you. And
do you think it's the Belichick effect? Remember, he did that. He had the sweatshirts.
Yeah, but he cut the sleeves. Like that's at least something. These sleeves are like hanging down.
Okay.
I can't. Guys, you work for Texas A&M, the Aggies, and Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not asking you to be in suits, but I do expect you to be
at least a button-up, polo, something.
Look nicer.
Well, it fits because I said neither one deserved the job they have.
Well, that's fair. Okay.
So I'm just saying.
Well, what are you not loving?
Well, I had notes from when we were going to make this episode, but I have new ones because weeks have passed.
Why not?
Here's what and we're not going to get political at all.
That's not us. We don't.
But here's what I don't like. I don't like coming for people you don't know on social media. Okay?
Yes.
In the name of Christianity.
Oof.
That's all I'm going to say. I don't like it. Like,
yeah.
I don't care if you are a Christian or you're not a Christian.
Yeah.
I don't care. Don't come at each other for either way.
Right.
Stay in your own lane.
Yeah.
Like that's.
And what does it accomplish?
What are you doing? You're not going to change my opinion.
No.
And if your opinion,
and I'm not going to change yours.
And here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to tell you about you. Not you, but you out there. If your opinion can be changed because someone came for you on social media.
Did you really have an opinion?
You need to grow a backbone.
Yeah.
And you are why I need merch that says people are stupid. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
That's not political.
That's a good one.
That could apply to a million situations.
Yes.
So it's
Every
just
day.
really been prevalent this week because we had an election.
Yes. Okay.
What are you liking?
I am liking, and I think I mentioned this on another episode where we were talking about shows that were coming out, Matlock with Kathy Bates.
So I can see Becca's notes from here, and this is bolded, is the only thing I can read because I have terrible vision. I can see that it's bolded, and this whole time I've been chuckling inside that it says this. I don't know why. I haven't seen it. I love Kathy Bates. I loved Matlock.
It's so good.
Is it a great show?
It is so good. And the first episode at the very end has a twist that you don't see coming that sets up the entire show.
Well, now I've got to Google and find out.
And it is phenomenal. We have thoroughly enjoyed it. It's funny. It's got drama to it. The storylines are so intriguing. But that twist that sets up this whole season.
Oh, great. That's all I need is a new show.
Listen to me. You guys got to watch it. I think there's only 4 episodes out right now because it drops 1 a week.
I'm going to have to download episode 1 for my flight tomorrow morning.
So good.
I had plans.
Well, now you got better plans.
So this past week I did a lot of traveling. Was in the car a lot.
Yeah.
I'm about to be in the car a lot again. So I got to listen to some podcasts. I used to listen to tons of them because I used to live in Chicago and I had a big commute.
Yes.
So I don't get to as much anymore. So I listened to, honestly, a ton of the Big Bootcast, which is our time constraint. We do have to get to the Bootcast tonight. So they're a good time all the time, guys. But that's not it. I heard a commercial for this other podcast and I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. It's called How Things Are Made. Have you heard about this?
No.
Y'all, it is fascinating.
Okay.
Like the craziest things you can think of, like how did Frosted Flakes become Frosted Flakes? Y'all, it's a whole thing.
Listen, that actually sounds like it'd be interesting.
I mean, you got to go check it out. It is so interesting. Like literally things I have never thought to think.
Yeah.
They think about. But then also things I have wondered, like, I wonder how this became that. It's on there. And it's like, it tells you the history, but it's not boring.
Yeah. So good. Listen, the boys like to listen to podcasts in the car. I might have to try that one out because I think they would enjoy it. It's like educational. Like you learn a whole lot. So this show is perfect for my husband because he is the king of useless facts. Okay. And so this is made for him. Yeah. But so we kind of started listening to it like he needed something in the car and he was kind of tired of the Bootcast because we were really caught up at that point. We were like back in like baseball season caught up. Gotcha. And so we heard this advertisement. We're like, oh, that kind of sounds interesting. Flipped it on. Oh my gosh. So good. Okay. How Things Are Made. Okay. Guys, check it out. Okay. We appreciate you listening. We thought this would be 2 episodes, but I think it's just 1. We did really well. I know. I'm proud of us. We're back. I just thought of something. We're going to have some time. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. Yeah. We'll be back regularly, we think. We apologize for the absence. Thank you for listening. Keep your questions coming. We will have the November bonus episode. Yes. More questions. And we're also going to be launching another new type of bonus episode. Get excited. We're really excited. We'll tell you more about it later. That's it for now. That's it. Goodbye. Bye, y'all. Bye, y'all.